and all of that. And this whole month, this series is dedicated in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King. What impact did Dr. King have on you as a minister, a preacher, and as a black man in America?
You got to think, I'm a black man that grew up in the South.
Right.
So from between Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, I got family and all that, and in those areas, that's the South. You can't get any further south to me.
Right.
I call it the dirty. You down there and you in the South, and things have changed, evolved so much where segregation is still there in neighborhoods and that type thing, but it has grown where people are more open to be friends with people of different cultures and different races openly, and they visited each other. So when we were kids, we had mixed friends. I mean, black, white kids, everybody was coming out. But my mom was a high school teacher.
Right.
So my mom taught everybody, and there was everybody's kid. And the kids came to our house, and we ate and laughed together. And I knew segregation, and I knew a lot of it, but that dream when Martin Luther King, in his big speech, he talks about, with black kids and white kids and all of us come together and be able to do things. That is a part of what I always want to do.
Right.
I don't care about what color you are.
Right.
I care about the texture of your heart and the belief of what you got to do. Because I like everybody until you give me a reason,
right,
to think something else, and I'm still going to like it. But I just may not, you might not be on get a visiting card from me or something all the time.
Right.
But I like everybody. And as long as everybody spend the time trying to get to know one another, because prejudice comes from ignorance to me. So what people don't know about people of different races or religions, if they spend a little more time learning them and learning in school, I don't know when in your school, I had to take Catholic classes, I had to take Protestant classes, I had to take all those different classes. And I learned so much about different religions, and it gave me that opportunity to get a little more respect and understand a little bit where things came from and how it was put together. And people are still people. They just go about it in different ways or whatever. But it's just like a line that's crooked. It might be wiggling all over the place, but at the end, it's still got a start and a finish place.
Right.
So you just have to work on it.
Yeah.
I know I give long answers, don't I?
It's all good. You're a preacher, man.
I talk too much.
Those preachers long-winded. What preaching style would you say that you prefer and why? I think in the introductory episode, I talked about different styles, and those 4 that I mentioned are not the only 4 that exist. I talked about the textual, the biographical, the narrative, and the textual, narrative, biographical, and I think I might have said expository or something like that. But
you put some big word up there. I call it a hybrid.
Hybrid, okay. All right.
Write this one down. It's a hybrid.
Hybrid.
A combination of all of them.
Okay.
You put all of them together, and it all depends on the audience.
Okay.
On who you're trying to reach. But you use a little bit of everything. And just like I got a cousin, man, that is like a phenomenal preacher. And he can put comedy in it. He's gonna put a little bit of this in there. He's gonna but at the end of the road,
right,
you sitting on the edge of your seat listening to every word he says. Because he captures his audience. Right. He gets them involved in what he's saying. And then the call method, that's what I call, because if I say something and then everybody knows that scripture, you're going to recite it. You're going to call it out. Right. And that's what I call it. But it allows you the flexibility to get everyone involved and not lose yourself. And that's, I guess, I call it the hybrid method. I mean, that's just me. I'm going
to give you a round of applause real quick. And I'd like to thank you because I'm about to use that now, that hybrid method. You just put me on to something new. That's okay. I can't call it that because you said the hybrid. So if I'm running around, so I'm doing the hybrid.
I'm copyrighted.
Right. But that's dope, man. I never thought about it like that.
because you learn from all the smart guys that you.
Hybrid.
My father was one of those.
Pay attention. He said you learn from.
You learn from, and I used to, my father was old fashioned, old school, and he would say it, and he would get people involved with that, and then but you got other people to do it. And I used to say, my father would get you involved in a certain. You could be sitting in the back,
right,
and he gonna say something like, "Yeah, me and the boys were sitting there talking about this." And that's his cue to let you know you need to sit up and listen to what I'm getting ready to say.
Right.
He getting you involved in the sermon, and you know I have been so blessed, man, to been around a bunch of great guys.
Yeah.
And great leaders, and I'm learning every day, and I'm trying to be a better man.
Wow.
And do all I can. Wow. So I got a lot of work to do. So I'm trying to be ready for it.
Wow. Now, what things do you have coming up that's coming down the line for Redemption Studios, Charles Sutton, Second Baptist Church youth pastor?
Yeah. Well, me, as far as the stuff for the church, we have a calendar thing. My biggest focus that I'm trying to do this year, later on in this year, I want to take the kids to Disney World.
Wow.
And that is a big thing. I may not do it this year, but I'm going to be working on it because it's a lot of money, and my budget is not that fat, and we have to do it. But I want to give some young people that may not have that opportunity to do that, that opportunity to go.
Right.
We're going to do some workshops, and we're going to do some other things as we go on. But that's one of the biggest things that I'm looking to do. We're still going to do our Bible study, twice a month, so everybody can be able to get involved. And I invite everyone to bring your youth groups, bring your young people out, and join us. Because all these churches are, just like we talked about, all the churches right here on Courthouse Road.
Yes.
But everybody's trying to do their own thing. And we've gone to churches to support them, and they may have 4 or 5 young people there.
Right.
We walking there with 20 deep.
Right.
And, I want people to do the same and come out and join us and get involved with that.
Now, I've been to your church, man, and y'all got an awesome youth situation over there, too, man. A lot of space at Second Baptist.
Oh, it's a lot of space.
Off of Broad Rock.
It's a lot of space, and it's going to get better, so just stay tuned because we're going to improve it. We're working on it. Like I told you, my pastor is a visionary, and he has a vision, and everyone in that church is just, we were talking about buying into what we're going to do.
Right.
They already bought into what his vision is.
Wow.
We just got to make it happen. As far as Redemption Studio, I have started a production company now.
Wow.
So
hold up. Round of applause for that. Come on, this is phenomenal stuff here, ladies and gentlemen.
I do music, and I have a group. The name of the group is Redemption.
Yeah.
And we do music, but I've started a production company other than this, where we're going to produce and arrange shows and put on different gospel shows and events around the city, and different artists I'm trying to bring in and get them started and doing, and we're going to roll it from there. And also for Redemption Studio, we talked about it. I told you I'm going to start another ministry that is called, I'm torn with the title of it because I haven't put that down, but it's going to have redemption something in it. It's just, I want to say it's going to be called Redemption Outreach Ministries, and we're going to reach out to those neighborhoods or those places that we draw in. And so many times I commingle the two, the church and here, but I try to keep them separate.
Right.
Because I want some people don't feel like they're ready to go into a church. Right. But if I can have this as a meeting place to get them ready to, then they step into it, we still working. So, and then the rest of it is just keep pushing, doing things with, can I get a word ministry? And anyone else that wants to get in here and do it. Right. And do what they do. But it is, and then all the time, if people take focus off of trying to make money, right, and just focus on doing the ministry, they will go farther because, and I know I go back to my dad and my grandfather all the time. But my father used to tell me, all you need to do is keep faith. God will provide all your wants and your needs.
Right. And Gray, is that you again?
Yes, me. Yeah, my phone died on here.
Okay, that's cool. We about to wrap up, but we talk about Redemption Studios. Gray, do you know where Redemption is?
Help me out.
Redemption Studios. It's off a Hall Street, across from Gabe's, right by Village of Faith.
Oh yeah, got. Okay, you might about the mom house, Brandon Mill. I know that. Okay, I got you.
Before you get to Brandon Mill, but you got to come by here, man. It's all kinds of instruments, drums, microphones, guitars, but it's a place where, you know, you can have services, meetings. It's just an awesome place, man. You got to come by and check it out.
Okay, I can do that.
That's where I have a majority of my events for the ministry here at Redemption Studios. It's like a home for me.
Okay, all right, no more. It's blessed.
Yeah, man. But as we come into a close, I wanted to, before you called in, I was going to say to the people out there to, if you really listening to what Charles is saying, and stop by Redemption Studios, because so often people want to do things, events, programs, and the venue is the hardest thing to obtain, to secure, to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And this place comes with, you know, sound, space, an area where you can put your food if you decide to cater food, bathrooms. It's in a safe location. You know, it's well lit. And I can't stress this enough, because sometimes people take for granted, you know, locations that are available. And they think I want to do it here, this big place or whatever, but they don't have the big bucks. They don't have a big budget. And when you starting out, and you know how it is, I mean, we talk about preaching too. Well, even with starting out with preaching, sometimes you might preach in front of 5 people. You're probably not gonna start preaching in a mega church.
That's right. You're
Unless
right.
your mom or dad is a pastor of a mega church and they got a 1,000, 2,000 congregation. But for a majority of us, we're gonna start small.
That's right. You're right.
The Bible say don't despise humble beginnings. So this place right here, we're trying to make a hub for the area, for the city, for people,
That's right.
the gifted, the talented, the visionaries, the ambition to come here, get started, get yourself out here.
That's right.
It's not just a studio. It's not just Redemption Studio. It's a platform. Really should be Redemption Platform. It's a platform. Redemption Launching Pad, Springboard.
That's right.
It is
Training center.
Yes.
It is
Training center.
Right.
That sounds like a good idea. I mean, already now we have Bible study on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock each one, and then we have 2 services in here on Sunday, one at 10 o'clock and one at 1 o'clock. So, and it's come as you are. It is not one of those places where you think you gotta dress up and you gotta put on your Sunday best. Come as you are, but the main thing is just come.
Yeah.
And when you come, you get an opportunity to get blessed. You're gonna be accepted just as you are, who you are, the way you are. So just I want to just use that opportunity to bring people to the kingdom.
Yes.
Instead of pushing them away.
Yes.
People want to judge and to tell them they can't do it because of this or that.
Right.
It's not about that. It's about come on out.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself, relax, meet people, network, and then learn and find your place. Find what your gifts are. So many people know what their gifts are, but they're not using it. Yeah. You know how many people are using not using their gifts because they don't want to be around people because they're worried about being judged or not done? And that's not what it's about.
Right.
God gave us those things for a reason.
Right.
And you got to forget about all these people that try to hold you down.
Right.
Because so many times people try to hold you down because they were afraid to do it themselves or they were too afraid to try. Right. So, God gives you those things not to waste and not to ponder and put in the closet. We want you to get out there and use it. So,
look, man, I think this whole month has been a blessing so far with all the different ministers that have come on and shared. And I think we're going to have to do like a little conference. We can do it right here at Redemption Studios, a little conference, not just for ministers, but for everybody. And we just share information, testimonies, experiences, and do it like that. Well, In closing, Charles, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, for making yourself